So let's dive into an idea the ancients believed was more valuable than gold, more powerful than an army, and more important than anything you could possibly learn. We're talking about the power of your attention.
And this is really the core of the whole thing, right here. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly profound. See, they understood that where you place your focus isn't just some small detail. No, it's the rudder that steers your entire existence.
So, how did they all arrive at this powerful conclusion? Well, let's take a look at the wisdom from some of history's greatest thinkers. Plato gave us a pretty stark warning. He believed that when our attention is all over the place, our very soul gets weaker. And what's fascinating here is this idea that without control, we don't actually choose our own thoughts. Think about that. We just inherit them. We end up becoming puppets, looking where we're told to look, wanting what we're trained to want, and the whole time thinking we're free. Aristotle then took it a step further. He laid it all out like a clear formula, and it's brilliant because it shows how the smallest, simplest act of focusing creates this massive domino effect in your life. It all starts with that one choice. What are you going to pay attention to? Because that choice, when you repeat it, becomes a habit. And those habits, they forge your character. And in the end, your character, well, that becomes your destiny. Then you've got the Stoics. Guys like Epictetus. They didn't just talk about attention. They basically turned it into a weapon. They developed this discipline called attentional control. Their whole philosophy was that our suffering comes from focusing on stuff we can't do anything about. Other people's opinions, whether we win or lose, all that external noise. So by yanking our attention back to our own actions and choices, we build this kind of unshakable fortress inside ourselves. And honestly, this line just sums it all up perfectly. The things you consistently look at, the things you think about, they don't just pass through your mind. They're actually building it. They are literally becoming who you are. But what happens if you just don't do this? What are the real consequences of letting your mind just wander around without any discipline? Let's explore the danger they saw in an untrained mind. Now, let's be really clear about something. The ancients weren't against having fun or enjoying things. The real danger they saw was what happens to a mind without a leash. A mind that can't direct its own focus becomes kind of porous, It can't resist outside influence. And this really drives home just how high the stakes are. On one side, you have the trained mind. It has the strength to hold on to its values, to know what's true, and to push back against manipulation. But on the other side, you've got the scattered mind, which just becomes a bucket for other people's ideas and desires. For the ancients, it was simple. A scattered mind can never truly be free. Okay, so if the problem is a lack of training, what was their solution? Well, thankfully, the ancients gave us a pretty clear path for mastering this inner power. And their training wasn't some passive thing. No, it was an active, disciplined workout for the mind. It involved deliberate restraint. That means consciously saying no to all the shiny distractions. It demanded constant repetition, like building a muscle, day in and day out. And it required intentional silence, creating that quiet inner space so you can actually direct your mind instead of being directed by all the noise. And this gets us to the absolute foundation of the whole practice. Your attention always comes before your choice. Think about it. What you allow into your awareness in the first place determines the options you even have to choose from. So, mastering your life has to start with mastering that first fundamental filter. So after all this difficult work, what's the big payoff? What's the prize? Well, it's something the ancients believed was the very foundation of a free life. This is it. This is the whole ballgame. Taking back your attention from the endless pull of the outside world. It's not some little productivity hack. To them, it was the very first, most critical act of becoming the master of your own self. Because it's a chain reaction, right? When you can finally consciously control your own attention. Well, then you gain the incredible power to control your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, how you respond to things. And here's the ultimate payoff. A person who is the master of their own inner world simply cannot be controlled by anyone or anything on the outside. And that is the ultimate freedom they were all chasing. So, we'll leave you with this question to think about, because this ancient wisdom is maybe more relevant today than it has ever been. In a world that is literally designed to hijack your focus, what are you choosing, actively, consciously choosing to notice?